Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Canadian Ultimate Championships 2019. We are here at Ivor Dent Sports Park in Edmonton, Alberta, bringing you action from the junior women's semi-final matchup with Vortex out of BC and Mofo from Manitoba. These two teams, you can see, getting pumped up on the field, ready to take it. We're about 1 minute away from game time. My name's Bobby Anderson. I'm joined here in the booth with Talina Huff. Talina, do you want to tell us a little bit about what we should see in this matchup today?
Well, as we've seen all this week, these teams have had a lot of success on both sides. They're both very, very strong competitors, and so I think we're in for a real battle of two very excited, very talented teams here. So we'll have a little bit of wind going on. We'll see how the teams adjust to that. I think they're both showing themselves capable since we've had wind all week of doing that. And yeah, I'm excited to get this first pull off here and see some quality women's ultimate.
I can hear in the background the horn has gone, so this game will be getting underway very quickly. The junior women's division presented by one of our longtime sponsors, VC, always doing a great job bringing tons of great gear to the tournament here. You can see all the juniors always excited to visit the VC tent, so thank you to them for being a longtime sponsor. This game presented on our Cliff Bar field. Again, another sponsor of this tournament. Always excited to get our player packs and featuring a Cliff Bar in there, so thank you very much to those sponsors. It looks like we are going to be setting off on this game very quickly. Other semi-final action featuring Wicked West out of Ontario facing Toro, also out of Ontario. A little bit of a rivalry there, so we will try and keep you updated as that game goes on as well. Vortex with the pull. Centers to Knockert. Looking upfield. Doesn't have any options. Floats one up. Has a receiver. Oh, a little bit of contact on that. Looks like there is going to be a foul called.
Yeah, Madoka woke there for Vortex going up for that D, but we'll see what the call is here, if it's going to go back to thrower or if she's just going to get it where she got the D.
Observer Rob Landreds stepping in, helping the players out. We do have two observers, as always, helping these players out, stepping in when there's calls and making sure those discussions go smoothly. So it looks like it's going to be a foul contest. It will go back to Knockert.
Yeah, Knockert just not having a lot of options there, just kind of punted that one, and sometimes that happens when you have a contested disc. We have another call on the field, maybe a little bit of contact on Knockert's hand there when she did that backhand fake. It's not. It's just a turnover. Nice D there by number 99.
Looks like there's another call on the field, so a little bit of a slow start to this game. Both teams kind of getting their legs under them. Not too early of a start, 10:15 game time, but definitely a lot of nerves coming into this semifinal. This game obviously meaning a lot to both of these teams, so I think we'll see a few of these turnovers as another one goes up there in these first couple points. Stays with it, just airs that one up.
That's going to be too far and out the back.
Looks like a little bit of a miscommunication. Thought her receiver was streaking deep, and that one just catching the edge. I think we're going to see a lot of that in these first couple points as well as the players get used to the wind. Definitely is a little bit challenging. We saw a few discs go out that sideline in the Junior Open semifinal as well, so definitely presenting a challenge for these players. Vortex back with the disc. Disc in the hands of Sherry Credo. Goes up high, and the Mofo player in the air, but Vortex able to bring that in. That's Italia Paris. Up the sideline to Mika Karashi. Karashi centers the disc. Dane Tolentino with it. Looks for the break. Reels that one in. That's Maduka Woke. Finds an undercut in Mika Karashi. Karashi surveying the field, not a lot of downfield options. Goes for the lefty reset, but that one just floating over her receiver. Mofo back with the disc. Airs that one out to Knockert. Great read there. Knockert wisely calling a timeout. Already in this first point, lots of turnovers. See a few nerves. Definitely lots of pressure from both defensive ends. Wise decision there. Just take a timeout, take a little breath, and reset your offense.
Yeah, you can clearly see that both teams are coming out with a lot of energy. I think that's contributing to a lot of the foul calls that we're seeing and a lot of these like really quick turnovers. Sometimes you just want to get those first few points to get up and get the confidence of your team up, but so far with the wind conditions and maybe some of the nerves, as you said earlier, it's not working. And so, yeah, a good call by Knockert to take this time out and maybe settle her team down. It's been a few days of really, really competitive play already for both of these teams, and so sometimes these little mental resets are really important.
Yeah, talking to Coach Carmen Lee before the game, she was saying that they're really just trying to be adaptable with their play. That's their real strategy. Their kind of philosophy is that the team that is able to adjust to what the other team is doing quicker will be the team that's the most successful. So they've really tried to put a lot of tools in their team's arsenal so when it does come time to use them that they're really comfortable playing a lot of different offenses. So we'll see what they decide to do here.
Looks like they'll start by setting up a vertical stack in that end zone, and then defense will come in and set for Vortex.
So it'll be Knockert with the disc in the middle. Looking into the end zone. That one's low, but it's reeled in.
See a lot of excitement there, getting some shoulder bumps in. I didn't quite catch the number of the receiver, but
I think it might have been Lindsay Marshall for Mofo going down and scooping that one up. Great job keeping that disc up in the air. Definitely a little bit lower of a throw than Knockert intended, but great job by the Mofo receiver keeping that one up for the goal.
And we've seen a lot of the Mofo players, having like really great hands. So maybe in the first few points you noticed Atalia Paris, number 23, going up for a few discs. And in the game that we watched earlier this week with her, we saw her have a lot of those really, really good grabs, a lot of good athleticism. And it seems like the Mofo team in general just has really good field awareness and is able to make those difficult catches. And, you know, when that's the difference between a turnover and the other team getting a chance, like those little things add up throughout the course of a game and really give you that slight edge, which is what Carmen said that they need here. Small adaptabilities, small adjustments. It's like a chess match, and we'll see how the chess match turns out.
Yeah, after that long first back and forth point, that was a hold for Mofo, so I'm sure they'll be happy to get that one. Wise timeout, able to cash that one in, and they are back on D.
Pull coming up a little short there at the middle of the field for Vortex.
Big fake there by Jenny Medina. Puts that one over. A huge bid, reeling that one in. Shea Ursua. She's one of the longtime members of this Vortex team. The coach telling us before they've been together for 5 years, and this is actually their last day together. So a few emotions there as well for this Vortex team. Into the end zone, and a great grab. Reeled in by Julia Cruz. So a little bit of miscommunication with the Vortex handlers there, but excellent save on that far sideline, and they're able to get the hold.
Yeah, both of these teams are very athletic, very talented, great handlers, and so it's going to be those tiny adjustments, especially in these wind conditions. And so, I mean, great athletic play there by number 22, Shea Ursua, to like grab and get that layout bid there. And that bid saved the whole point. It allowed them to continue to work it up the field and get that break side point. So excellent job by Vortex there to keep nice and calm, and we'll see how this goes.
Vortex, their road to this semifinal yesterday, beating Eclipse, also out of BC, who they have quite a history with, in a thrilling match yesterday. won in universe point after getting 2 breaks to take it home. So very excited to be here. They definitely are happy that they put away their rival Eclipse. Excited to be on this field, and they're really just looking to throw and catch and have fun on this semi-final. They don't want to complicate things too much. They know if they just keep it simple, throw and catch, and enjoy playing with each other, that's always when they play best. Looks like there's an offside called on Vortex here. So we'll have a repull. You can hear the wind kind of whipping into our microphones here. It's going left to right across your screen, so scoring in this left end zone will definitely be the challenge throughout this game. Looks like Yana Torino pulling the disc for Vortex. Nice floaty pull there.
Lots of time for defense to set.
Knockert picks up the disc. Looking for a cutter. Tons of pressure by the Vortex D, but great throw there. Looks like there was some contact on the throw. Looks like she's debating whether she's calling it. A little bit of confusion, but she's saying no, there was no contact, so great D by the Vortex player. And that one just in and out of the hands of Francesca Kiza. Disc back with Mofo. Swings to the far sideline. Caitlin Cho with the disc. Up to Lindsay Marshall. Looking for the reset back to Knockert. Great coverage by the Vortex D out of that stack. Knockert going over, but tons of pressure by Vortex. They get their hand on it. Huge bid, but Mofo player not able to bring it in. Mandy Lee with the disc. Looking for options, puts that one up. And pressure by Alex Yaluega from Mofo. Sarah stays with the disc. Looking for Caitlin Cho across. Puts that one up, has a receiver, and she reels it in.
Nice throw by Stoas there to that side. Stoas was one of the young women we were told to look out for. Consistently a really good leader on the Mofo team. And yeah, clearly showing her skill there with that well-timed put that was wide open for the point.
Yeah, great awareness there. Not a lot of options coming out of the stack. Lots of pressure by that Vortex team on the handler resets, and just floats that one up for Jordan Turner for the Mofo goal, bringing us to 2-1 Mofo. So despite a little bit of sloppiness in these first few points, we are still on serve. Haven't seen a break from either team yet, so both teams definitely going to want to throw something different at these offenses, try and shake them up even more and get that first break.
You can see one of the coaches, Carmen, giving Mofo a little pep talk over there. Fun fact about Carmen is she actually has her own cooking show, I think it is. Is it a cooking show?
She is through the 3rd round of auditions for a Food Network cooking show. So she just got the news yesterday, is very excited about that. If you are a foodie, you can stay tuned to the Food Network and potentially see one of her other talents being showcased there.
I believe the name is called Wall of Chefs, in case anybody wants to check it out.
Multi-talented coaching squad from Manitoba here. Coaches for Mofo, Will Conrad, Laura Hatch, Carmen Lee. Tons of experience there. Definitely bringing a lot of knowledge to this Mofo squad.
Mofo throwing a zone right away.
Brianna Dar facing that zone. Flips it up to Lee. Lee trapped on her sideline, goes over top, has 2 receivers. Reeled in. Vortex looking upfield. Swings back to Beering. Nice shot through the middle by Beering there. Woke with the disc. Looking for the reset. Great patience by Vortex. Brianna Dar back with the disc, shoots one into the end zone. Oh, and a great grab there. Shea Urzua not quite in, but she flips one in.
Yeah, we've seen a couple great grabs from Shea Urzua already early in this game today. Great hands on her.
Yeah, Vortex doing a great job with that Mofo zone. Lots of patience. We saw them get trapped on that sideline, but they flipped it over top of the cup and then just kind of tic-tac-toed all the way into the end zone. Urzua made a great grab on that end zone line and then put it up for her receiver.
Yeah, you could see the Mofo Cup struggling to keep up with those quick passes up the field there. Really tough job to contain it once it kind of gets through the cup there, and they just couldn't quite get set up fast enough to stop that play or switch to person D.
So as we kind of predicted Mofo coming down in a zone there, trying to shake up the Vortex O-line, but they did a great job with that, moving it around. Now we'll see what they can bring out on D and if they can rattle this Mofo O-line. Quick update from our other semifinal. They are apparently having a similar start to here, a little bit getting used to the wind, few calls, and they are currently tied at ones. Other semifinal featuring Ignite and Toro. This pole goes up, and that's going to sail out of bounds. Stays is going to take the disc to the middle.
Yeah, apologies to Stays for the other day. I believe we kept pronouncing it Stoas on the stream, but it is Stays.
Yeah, we got a correction from Coach Carmen Lee, so thanks for that. Knockert saves that one. And it's going to air that one out. Didn't really have a receiver, but I think high stall count and just getting some better field position for their defense to work. Karashi swings the disc over to the far sideline. Into traffic, but it's reeled in by Mandy Huang.
Oh, great poach there.
Immediately, Caitlin Cho up to Stays. Knockert streaking deep, and Stays is going to air that one up to her. And is it going to stay in? Oh, great grab by Knockert, and she's ruled in. Excellent field awareness by Knockert there, keeping the one toe in as she grabs that one. We saw her as soon as Stays got that disc just taking off, knowing that Stays has the throws to put it up, and she makes a great grab there for the hold.
Yeah, that looked like a uncomfortable toe drag, and then catching it above your head on the trailing edge of the disc there, like, great catch. Amazing, amazing athleticism, field awareness, and making sure that toe stays in by Knockert.
Stays and Knockert have great connections here. We've seen all weekend. I think they've played together quite a bit. So we will definitely be seeing more of that relationship develop as this game goes on.
So if you're just tuning in, you are watching the Vortex versus Mofo game. Vortex in the dark colored shirts, Mofo in the white colored shirts, and currently the score is 3-2. So it's staying a very exciting game so far. We are here at Ivor Dent Sports Park in Edmonton, Alberta, at the Cliff Field number 2. A little bit of wind coming across the field here, and an exciting game so far.
Mofo with the pull. Over to Lee. Lee puts that one almost reeled in by Woke, but she can't keep her hands on that one. And Mofo getting an opportunity to break.
Observer making sure she takes it at the right point.
Great fake there by McFadden. The youngest member on this Mofo team. Gonna put that one up.
Great box up by Vortex there.
Great read by Woke. She goes over top. Tolentino puts that one up into the middle. Ursua with it. Tons of pressure by Mofo, but Paris reels it in. Woke back with the disc. Flips that one up to Lee. Lee looking into the middle. Oh, and just in and out of the hands of Tolentino.
Looks like that pass was a little bit low and she couldn't quite scoop it.
Freeling with the disc. Puts it over to McFadden. Up to Jordan Turner. Turner looking for options downfield, not seeing any cuts coming. Puts that one up for McFadden, but high stall count situation, not a ton of options. Tries to force that one through, and just a little bit of a miscue between Turner and McFadden there, and that will give Vortex the disc back.
Yeah, good awareness by Vortex to take away those in cuts.
She puts that one up, and it's a laser into the end zone.
Seems like there's a call on the field, though.
Might have been a stall down count on Jordan Turner's earlier throw. As the Vortex players are indicating.
Observers coming in to maybe help out a little bit if the players can't resolve it themselves.
So it looks like they are going to go to the observers for their ruling on this one. Players can, of course, work calls out amongst themselves, but if they can't come to a decision or want another perspective, they can also go to the observers and get their perspective on what they saw on the play.
Looks like Vortex will keep possession of that disc.
So I believe it was ruled a stall down, so they will take possession where the stall down occurred.
And that was not the throw Mandy Lee was looking for, but it works out.
Huge grab in the back of the end zone. Jacqueline Kwan reeling that one in.
Yeah, that first throw by Lee, it looks like the wind got it a little bit, and it looked like it might have been turning into a turnover for Mofo there, and then great field awareness down there. I wasn't quite sure who picked up that high disc, but then whoever it was able to get it to Kwan there for the point.
So we are all tied up at 3 here.
Still no breaks for either team.
If you are just joining us, we are here with the junior women's semifinal featuring Vortex and Mofo. Vortex, a team out of BC in the dark jerseys, Mofo wearing the white jerseys out of Manitoba. Still currently tied up 3-3. Both offenses a little bit shaky. There have been quite a few turnovers.
Okay, we crossed it out.
So haven't seen any breaks yet from either team. We'll see if Vortex comes down in a zone here, trying to shake up this Mofo line. Knockout with the disc. Airs that one up. Oh, but no one going for a little bit of a miscommunication there. So Vortex with a chance for their break. Beering going to pick up the disc. Try to shoot one up the middle, but that one just a little bit too far. So short field here for Mofo. Stays with the disc. Over to Knockert. Stays streaking up line. Great coverage there by Vortex. Knockert, not a lot of options. She'll float this one into the end zone. Has a few receivers, lots of traffic. Stays doing her best to reel that one in, but that one's sailing just out of bounds.
We've seen a few of those high stall count situations so far where sometimes you just have to put something up and hope your receivers come down with it. It's worked a few times, but not this time.
Yeah, one of the focus of this Mofo team was their end zone set. They haven't always been as disciplined as they want to be throughout this weekend, so that'll be something that they want to clean up throughout this game. Nice grab there by the Vortex player. Looking upfield, resets to the middle. Credo with the disc. Over to Medina. Medina puts one up the sideline. Lots of pressure on the mark by Knockert. Resets that one into the middle for Kuriyashi. Now with Brianna Dar. And Brianna Dar calls a timeout. We could definitely feel the energy climbing on that point as they got closer and closer to the end zone. So wise move there and taking a timeout, just giving yourselves a chance to settle down, set up your end zone, and punch this one in for the break.
Yeah, we went and talked to the Vortex coaches a little bit before here, and we asked them, what are some players that you could look out for? And they said all of them. And so I think that shows a lot of confidence in your team when you say that everybody on your team is a really quality asset and contributing really well. And strangely, Vortex is one of the few teams, maybe even the only team at this tournament, where they don't have set captains. Their entire roster is actually their captain, and so often on the field you'll see the entire team coming out to discuss strategy and plays. And so I think that's kind of unique, and it kind of gives everybody a voice, and it's a really interesting way to run your team. Clearly working really well for them if they're at the semifinals game, though.
Yeah, definitely nice to have confidence in all of your players that way, and just give all of the players a little bit of responsibility on the team. Definitely makes people step up a little more and could definitely be part of why they are here in the semifinal. So disc will be in the hands of Brianna Dar.
Vortex setting up their own vertical stack in this end zone.
Megan Gillis on the mark. Gillis, another name we said quite a few times in our stream the other day. It's been a little bit quiet so far in this game, but I think we will expect that to change as this game goes on.
Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Megan Gillis trying to get that D and maybe making a little bit of contact with the Vortex player's head. Hopefully nothing too serious.
Yeah, I think maybe she just had her hands on the disc and stays coming through trying to knock that disc out of her hands, and looks like she might have just whacked her head on the ground as she landed. Hopefully she's doing okay.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to say stays, not Megan Gillis. Megan Gillis is sitting on the field right now. Nice to see all the players taking a knee out of respect for the injury, and it's always good to see nice spirit like that.
Yeah, something we saw begin last year in the juniors division. I'm not exactly sure which team started it, but a trend that definitely started in the junior division at CUC's last year. Sign of respect as injuries happen. Just taking a knee, letting the coaches and observers deal with the situation. Hopefully she's doing okay down there. See, she's up now. Looks like she's gonna stay in the game. So must be doing okay over there. Vortex looking for options. Brianna Dar going up line. Great one-handed grab. Mandy Wong with the disc slips a little bit. It has rained a little bit over these last few days, so fields maybe a bit wet now. This has been our showcase game yesterday and today, so might be getting chewed up a little bit, but Vortex, great movement there, and that's a goal for Beering.
Nice inside out throw to her there too, especially with these wind conditions. Looks like it came in a little bit hot, but Beering had the reactions to just snag that right out of the air.
Great end zone movement by Vortex, and that is our first break of the game.
Yeah, Vortex, of course, being a team that's not new to CUCs. The team was first made in 2005, and then 2019 actually marks their 15th season. 8 since they split genders so that they have a open team and a junior women's division team. And so Vortex women have played 7 CUCs before this one. And yeah, they're hoping to maybe top some of their best finishes. So according to our list here, their best finish was 2nd in 2015. And so yeah, maybe this will be the year where they can bring that first place win in.
And Wicked just having a lot of problems with the speed of the Vortex players. So we can see if those teams match up again, that will be something that teams definitely have to deal with. We've already seen tons of defensive plays from this Vortex squad, but this one, Mofo airing it up. Great put into the end zone. And Megan Gillis right on cue. As we said, she's been a bit quiet. There she is with her first goal of the game. Easy hold for the Mofo squad.
Yeah, Megan Gillis, I believe, competing recently at the under 24. Clearly a talented young woman, and I'm sure we'll be saying her name a lot over the course of this game. So that ties it up 4-4 for both teams, keeping it nice and tight.
Yeah, we can see some of those beginning of the game nerves settling down a little bit here. Obviously a lot on the line in this game. This is the semifinal. So both teams probably feeling it in the first 2 points. We had tons of turnovers, a little bit of shaky play. Seems like the energy is remaining a little more stable here. Teams settling into their offenses, and that's a nice clean hold for Mofo. So Mofo already coming down in a zone once, trying to rattle this Vortex O-line. We'll see if they have another strategy to try to shake them. But so far, Vortex O-line not giving up a break to this Mofo team. Knockert with the pull. That one floating over the head, and it is just out of bounds.
I thought for sure that one was going to stay in, but that wind's going to carry.
Mandy Lee bringing the disc to the center of the field for Vortex. Immediately up through the middle, but just in and out of the hands of Shea Urzua. Gillis puts one up to Cho. Cho looking again for Gillis. Goes back for the reset to Stays. Stays nice around to Knockert, but that one just floating a little bit too high. Reeled in by Jacqueline Kwan. Looking for upfield options, doesn't find any. Goes for the reset. Mofo getting a hand on it, and Gillis brings it in.
Oh, looks like there's a call, maybe a little bit of contact on that throw.
I think it might have been a stall down called.
Observer coming in to help. Yeah, it did seem like the stall count was getting quite high on that point there, and it was kind of like a last-ditch punt.
Definitely just a bailout throw here. Looks like it was ruled. The throw was off before Stays said 10, so it will go back to Gillis. Gillis taps the disc in. Looks upfield, Cho with the disc. Oh, lots of contact. Cho back to Stays. Stays up the middle to Knockert. And just, again, that disc sailing out of the hands of Yaluega.
Yeah, like you called at the beginning of the game, we're seeing a lot of turnovers on this sideline just because of the wind conditions.
Vortex on their own end zone. Both teams having a bit of trouble getting their resets off. Lots of pressure from both defenses, making those throws very tight. This one up on the sideline. Gillis is there, and she rips that one out of the air.
Nice field awareness by Gillis to like push that one out of the sideline and get the turnover.
Stays with the disc.
She's going to be looking to get it off that line.
Airs one up into the end zone. This one floating. Vortex player Gillis grabs it. Looks like there is a call. I think there was some contact on that blast cut.
You can see number 23 Paris for the other team kind of maybe a little bit worried that they got the point there, but if there was some contact on that, it might just go back to thrower if that affected the play.
Yeah, it does look like this is coming back to stays. Stays on the sideline. Is going to put it up again. Again, Gillis trying to get there, but Vortex.
Yeah, Paris getting that D there.
Ursula with the disc. Oh, there's
it's back
another
to stays
call.
Again. Not quite sure what's going on now. It's a turnover on that line.
And Vortex immediately putting that one up.
Ooh, some contact on that one too.
Looks like there is an injury. I think she might have gotten a shoulder in the head there. She is up though. Just a little shaken up on the play. Jordan Turner doing her best to get in the way of that disc. Looks like she is going to be okay. We'll elect to stay in the game, and this will be Mofo's disc. I think both players just going up for the disc there, kind of incidental contact. Neither of them really feeling that the other one fouled them, so Mofo will keep the disc here. Airs that one up, knockered in the area, but again, that one just sailing out of bounds. Again, both teams really struggling to get their resets off. They can see both of them getting stuck on that sideline, not really being able to get it off of there. And then we've seen lots of just high stall count kind of bailout throws from both teams.
Yeah, as a player though, I mean, throwing into that wind and trying to get to the break side is a daunting task. But I think the team that can start successfully doing that will really open up their options and probably ultimately come out ahead. We'll see if either team can get a little bit more comfort with those throws.
Lee with the disc, but Gillis reads that one, immediately putting it up for Cho. This one aired out beautifully, and Cho reels it in for the goal.
What a bomb by Gillis there.
Great run by Caitlin Cho. And Megan Gillis giving her tons of time to run onto that one. And that is a goal for Mofo.
Yeah, Mofo doing a great job of, like, as soon as that pick off happened by Gillis, just immediately busting deep. And so, like, you know, trusting that Gillis had that throw and, like, streaking immediately deep was why that point happened. And so it's always nice to have your receivers just go as soon as that happens, and sometimes you can catch the defense on the other team a little bit off guard with that and just convert on a really, really quick turnover.
Yeah, great transition by Mofo there. Good awareness by Gillis too. She didn't throw it right away. She took a bit of a breath and then aired that one out for Cho. And I think that's been also a little bit of the difference that we've seen. Some of these hucks have been a bit rushed, and we have seen not quite the right angle on it, and that's why they're fading out of bounds. But that one, just an absolute dime into the end zone. So if you are just joining us, it is currently 5-4 for Mofo against this Vortex squad. Mofo in the white, Vortex in the dark jerseys. We are here at the junior women's semifinal games. We will have the junior open final later, followed by the junior women's final, so stay tuned all day. Very exciting day here. It is finals for the juniors. Lots of energy all around this field. You can see the sideline of this one slowly filling up with the players from the respective junior open programs. So I'm sure as this game goes on, it's going to get even louder. The wind really picking up now. Medina with the disc, puts that one up. Oh, great read by the Mofo player. Diamond Burchuk gets her hand on that one and pushes that out.
Let's see if they can get out of this corner here.
Einerson with the disc. Puts that one up, but the Vortex player is there. Mika Kurahashi reads that one well. Flips it up. And that's a low shot. Jenny Medina just putting that one a bit too low for her receiver, gives the disc back to Mofo. Einerson puts it up to Grieser. Grieser up the sideline. Up to Freeling. Freeling looking for options. Into traffic, but a nice grab there. That's McFadden, and she puts this one up. Vortex player is there.
She got the D, but maybe hurt her ankle a little bit on that one. Yeah, that's the bad thing about these windy conditions is a lot of those throws that you're going to put up are going to float a little. They are going to go a little errant. And sometimes you just have this light amount of contact as like players try to either get that D or get that catch. And so we've had reports of similar amounts of contact and lots of calls on other fields today. And that's just the wind conditions.
Yeah, you never want to see a player go down like that. She is getting some help from her coach, so hopefully she's doing okay. Update from our other semifinal. Currently tied still at 3-3. Ignite and Toro facing off in that one. Sorry, not Ignite. Wicked West and Toro. This junior women's division is brought to you by VC. VC, longtime sponsor of this event. We are always very thankful to have them here, making us look good, giving the juniors lots of swag to buy. So this will be Vortex disc. Tolentino picking that up. Lots of pressure on the reset by Mofo. Not a lot of options. That one floating. Vortex player in the air. Goes and grabs it. That's Mike Lee. Huge grab. And this one put up into space. But just out of the reach.
Man, yeah, that was a great elevate by Mike Lee there at just the right time, and coming down with that much traffic, incredibly impressive.
Nice shot up the middle there. Wong with the disc. Resets. Oh, miscommunication, can't be reeled in. So Vortex, short field here to work with. Medina picking up the disc. Goes into the end zone, but forces that one just a little bit. We're seeing this end zone becoming trickier and trickier as this wind picks up to score on. The wind really pushing that disc down into the ground.
Oh.
That one aired up.
Looks like Mika Kurahashi there for Vortex number 3 got a little piece of it and was just enough to destabilize it.
Kurahashi puts that one up. Oh, but great pressure there. Anna Grieser getting her fingers on it. Gets the disc back for Mofo. Oh, and another big save.
Yeah, great adjustment on the line of her cut there to get the short disc.
Jillian Bannister back to Einerson. She's gonna air that one up. 2 Mofo players, and it's reeled in. Flips back to Diamond Burchuk. Over to McFadden. McFadden looking in the end zone. And she's ruled not in. But she brings that one home. Bannister with the goal for Mofo.
Yeah. For a second there, I think McFadden was like, oh, this is too easy, and got that look at the cutter right off the front of the stack there. And then it just wasn't quite in. So thank gosh we have these observers here to keep the game nice and fair and make those calls on if a disc is in or not. And good adjustments by Mofo to not lose their cool under that and get it in a tight space.
Yeah, so a bit of a marathon point. Lots of turnovers by both teams. We're seeing a little bit of rush throws on the end zone for both teams. Again, this win proving to be a little bit of a challenge, but also just a little more discipline by this Vortex end zone I think will go a long way. You can see them trying to force throws into cutters that are not necessarily open. Mofo doing a great job of putting lots of pressure on the handler resets, so just a little bit more time and discipline on those throws I think will go a long way for Vortex. So Mofo now up 6-4. That's another break for them. We'll see if they can keep this run going or if Vortex has something to say about that.
Stays putting the pull up. Nice pull deep into Vortex's side.
Disc with Lee. Lee resets. That one put up tons of space. That's Wong with the disc. Over to the sideline. Big fakes there. Mandy Lee. Up to Ursu. She goes for the reset. Not sure if Gillis got a hand on that. Other chance. It's immediately put up to Cho. And she brings it in for the Mofo break. Great put there.
It's another great example of what we've seen a few times from Mofo this game so far, which is that as soon as they get that turnover, they're going. They're striking deep immediately, and they're getting open on those. And so maybe if Vortex just takes a couple seconds to like really get those defenders like switched over onto defense mode as soon as the turnover happens, they might be able to cut off a few of those and maybe bring the score up a little bit. But yeah, overall, Mofo showing those fine adjustments that their coach talked about.
Yeah, excellent transition off the turnover there. Taking advantage of your offensive line feeling a little chaotic, maybe a little downhearted after turning it over, and just airs one up to Cho, and that was a pretty easy break for the Mofo squad.
For sure, yeah, you can see teams taking a little time out here, having a little chat. Hopefully get a little bit of inspiration and calming energy from their coaches, maybe reset their mental game a little bit. While we're waiting, though, I have another fun human interest story for Vortex here. And so Vortex said that half of the team literally ripped their shorts getting to practice in Surrey this year. And so this was a fact that we had when we commentated one of their earlier games this week. And we're like, how does that happen? Like, how do you rip your shorts? And so we went and talked to them, and apparently it was climbing over the fence to get to practice. And so a bunch of them going over the fence just ended up catching their shorts on it, and I guess they all had to invest in extra shorts, or at least half of them had to invest in extra shorts.
The backstory is key. I was like, were they just running so fast that they ripped their shorts? Because I wouldn't even be surprised, as we've seen Vortex displaying tons of speed out here. Right now, though, slowing it down a little bit, regrouping. They are certainly not out of this game. They will receive after half, so they'll be back on offense. If they can get a hold here, certainly not out of this. Mofo not going to make it easy on them at all. We've seen that they are capable of putting tons of pressure on this Vortex team, able to deal with the speed of these cutters, and have already gone up a couple breaks. So we'll see if the Vortex squad can get back to what their game plan was, just catch and throw. We felt kind of their energy rise a little bit. They felt a little bit more frantic than sort of the middle of this first half. So I think wise decision there, just taking a timeout, take a little bit of a breather, and get back to just catching and throwing.
And we know they can bring games back. So as far as I heard from yesterday's game against
Yeah.
Eclipse, they were down a bit and then managed to bring it back to Universe Point and clinch that one at the end there. So they're certainly capable of it, and we have a whole nother half to go.
Yeah, you can definitely not count this team out. Tolentino flips the disc up, back to Tolentino. Looks like there was some contact on the play, but no foul called. Einerson tapping the disc in. Tolentino with it. Oh, and that one just over the head, but she saves it.
Just snags it out of the
Credo
air.
over on the far sideline, keeping the disc alive for Vortex. But that one coming in just a little bit more spicy than Credo thought. That one tipped off by Vortex, and Woke goes up.
Looking a little rattled from that.
Tolentino up to Woke.
Oh, grabbed by Paris there, highlighting her athleticism again.
Back over to Tolentino, looking for options out of the stack. And she puts that one wide open receiver, and Sherry Credo. Great patience by Vortex there on the end zone line, not forcing it into any spaces, and they get their hold.
Yeah, just like you talked about a few seconds ago there, maybe they were forcing a couple plays earlier on there, and so you saw really, really good patience by Tolentino. So Tolentino pump faked off those first couple cutters, just seeing that it was maybe too tight of a space to get it in, and then finally got her open look on the last one there. So
yeah, great job by Vortex. They had a couple huge saves from some players on that point. But as we said, we cannot count this Vortex team out, and they will do everything possible to keep that disc alive. Great job by the players there, and now we will see them back on D and trying to bring this one back within 1 point. We will have more action for you all throughout the week as well. Today it is junior finals day, starting with the semifinals and then moving on to both the junior open final and junior women's final later in the day. And then Thursday to Sunday we will have more action from the adult division, open division, women's and masters happening all week here at Ivor Dent Sports Park in Edmonton. Short pull there from Vortex. We'll see what Mofo does with this. Knockout on the sideline, facing a Vortex zone. We know she likes to put it over top, and she elects to do that, but that one just a little bit too short for stays, and Vortex with their chance to get a break back. Beering picks up the disc. Finds a reset in Credo. Lots of pressure by Mofo. Looks like there is a call. I believe it was a pick called.
I think that's Brianna Dar with the disc right now.
Yeah, Cho on Mofo. I think feeling that Dar ran through some traffic there and slowed her down. She wasn't able to get her proper play on the disc, so this will be coming back to Credo.
Dar, I believe, saying on the field that she's out, so she's probably gonna try and create some space for the upfield people to come back.
Yeah, great job recognizing she's in the open lane. Knows that she won't be able to get open with Cho right there, so she's gonna clear out for a teammate to come in. Credo with the disc, puts that one up, and that's sailing over the head. Knockert there for the D. Looking deep, doesn't have an option. Now we'll put it over top. And the Vortex player there to bat that one down. Immediately aired up. Huge bid, but can't reel it in.
That was Mika Kirahashi with the bid.
And Mofo with a huck of their own, but that one again sailing just out of bounds.
Yeah, maybe that's a little bit more of that, just trying to gain a slightly better field position by getting it off that corner over there, because that corner is probably just as deadly as this corner. It's on the windy side, and so anything you put up is going to be either into the wind for the reset, or, as we said, like a nice pull down that's just going to get pushed right out.
Beering with the disc. And that one just slips out of her hand.
I don't think that's the throw she was going for.
No, very uncharacteristic of Beering. Stays with the disc. That one aired up to Gillis. Gillis on the far sideline, looking deep.
Another stoppage of play here.
I believe there was a foul on the reset. You can hear the wind really picking up now, making it challenging for these players. Mofo looking to score downwind to take this one to half. Carol Jean Wong looking to get the reset from Gillis. Wong with the disc now. She puts that one up into space for Cho. Can she keep her feet in? And she does. And that's another goal for Caitlin Cho.
Team rushing the field for half.
Caitlin Cho making a name for herself in the deep space. We can see every time they get a D, she's just taking off. And what a great receiver to have downwind. Mofo taking this one to half, 8-5 over Vortex. We will take a quick time out in the booth here and be back with more action from the junior women's division here at the Canadian Ultimate Championships. Welcome back, everyone, to the Canadian Ultimate Championships. We are here in the Junior Women's Division semifinal with Mofo out of Manitoba taking on Vortex out of BC. Mofo taking the half 8-5. I'm here in the booth with Talina Huff. Talina, do you want to tell us about what happened in that first half of Ultimate?
Well, it was a very exciting first half. It's been a lot of back and forth, and I think one thing that we're consistently seeing a lot from both teams is that they're putting it deep, and unfortunately that's causing a lot of problems as the disc tends to float maybe a little bit in the wind or get pushed out by the wind on this open sideline. And so we'll see if they can make those little adjustments and maybe see if with these wind conditions they can move it up the field a little bit more controlled and slowly with their handlers.
Yeah, we've definitely seen the wind play a little bit of a factor here. Vortex coming out on O in this second half. Mandy Lee with the disc. We've seen Mofo putting tons of pressure on these handler resets, making it hard for Vortex to reset the disc. Kurahashi resets to Tolentino. That one, bit of a misfire there. Einerson picks up the disc, immediately puts it up. Taya Neeson with the grab. And she also floats one up. Nicely reeled in there. Freeling with the disc. Finds a reset, but that one is going to float. Vortex player there.
Neeson comes down with, I think, control of it maybe. I'm not sure if she dropped it on that, but unfortunately number 22, Shea Ursua, laying on the ground. Hopefully nothing serious. Coach Chris Wakeling comes over to have a look at her, make sure everything's okay.
As we mentioned before, they have been together for 5 years through this Vortex program. They've spent most of their summers and school years together, so great relationship that has formed there. This is their last day together, so hopefully she's all right and this isn't the way it ends. Looks like she is starting to push herself back up. Hopefully just a little bit shaken out on the play, and we'll see her back in this game.
Yeah, she's been a key player for Vortex throughout this game so far, always being there for resets, and great set of hands, pulling in those discs and maintaining possession for them. It'd be a real shame if she can't continue to play for the rest of this very, very important game for Vortex. Looks like she's talking about the contact with Neeson, seeing if they can resolve who gets possession or if that was a turnover.
As they discuss that call, we'll give you an update from our other semifinal. Wicked West is taking on Toro. It's currently 5-4 Wicked. Halftime was enforced at 45 minutes, and Toro will be starting on O. We will do our best to keep you updated with action from that field as well. We will be here all day long with more action from this junior field. We have finals coming up later, so going to be an exciting day here for sure. And throughout the rest of the week, we will have adult division later, Thursday to Sunday. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Right now, we are here with Mofo and Vortex. Looks like there was a foul called, and it will be contested, so it will go back to Freeling.
I imagine that'll come in at a bit higher of a stall count than Freeling probably wants, because it seemed like that was a late dump. Observers just making sure everybody's set approximately where they were when the call occurred.
Observers doing a great job all week long here, helping these juniors out with calls. We have Stephanie Wood and Rob Landrick on this game, doing their best to keep these players in check. And a huge bid there by the Vortex player makes sure that Mofo can't get their hands on the disc.
That was the recently downed Shea Ursua making that layout D there.
Nice to see her staying in the game. And that one just in and out of the hands of Julia Cruz. Cruz wide open, great cut there. Maybe a little bit too much time to catch that one. Einerson with the disc. floats that one up. Lots of players in the area, and that one is batted out of the air by Mika Kurahashi.
Oh, we have another injury on the field. It looks like maybe she got hit in the head with the follow-through there. That would explain why that disc kind of popped up higher than, you know, it probably should have. And, yeah, she's holding her jaw. Yeah, we've seen quite a few stoppages of play here today just with incidental contact and fouls occurring. I think it's partially due to the teams, of course, bringing a lot of energy into the semifinals, hoping to push through to the finals. And, of course, the wind just being a factor with some of those, like, hanging and allowing the contested shots for players.
Yeah, lots of floaty passes that are hanging up in the air, giving lots of players time to run through. This one, Einerson, I think, just caught the jaw as she followed through on that backhand huck.
No, she's slowly getting up. That's always a good sign. Still clearly holding her jaw in discomfort.
Hopefully she'll be okay there. Walking off the field. We'll take an injury sub.
Yeah, hopefully no bleeding, no busted teeth.
So I believe the disc will remain in Vortex possession. This junior women's division is brought to you by longtime sponsor VC. We thank them for their continued support. We are here on the Cliff Bar field as well at Ivor Dent Sports Park in Edmonton, Alberta. This venue has been great for us all week. Tons of space for everyone to play here. Lots of fields in pretty good condition despite the rain. We are very thankful to be here as this one gets back underway. Tolentino with the disc, swings it over. That one low shot. She reels that one in. Ursu with the disc. Looking for her reset. Finds it in Medina. And that one another low one and can't be caught. Immediately we see the Mofo player take off. Really using that transition D. And this one is put up into space. But Mika Kurahashi gets there first. Vortex doing a great job switching there. We saw a big undercut, but Vortex players staying underneath, taking that away.
Yeah, great communication by the Vortex players to do that switch.
Pressure by McFadden.
Trying to get a hand in there.
That one just past Yana Torino. Stays with the disc. And that one, great D.
Medina just laying out, getting her hand on it.
Great read by Medina, puts her body on the line and gets the disc back, making a short field for Vortex. Kurahashi will pick up the disc, puts it over to Tolentino. To Guzman with the disc. Into the end zone.
Maybe a bit of a call on the field there. She was wide open, so maybe a pick.
I think there was a pick called.
Mofo doing a great job of keeping Vortex contained to the fore side on this one.
Yeah, we've definitely seen Vortex struggle a little bit to get over to that break side all game long. Mofo doing an excellent job with their marks, keeping them on that open side. So it will be a pick, but the turnover will stand. Stays goes to pick up the disc. Airs that one out into space. Neeson can't grab it. Cruz with the disc. Around to Kurahashi. Shoots it into the end zone, and a huge layout grab. I believe that was Tolentino with the grab, getting swarmed by her players.
She didn't even get to get up off the ground. They're just going to give her accolades right there. Oh, wait, there's the spike.
And that will bring our score to 8-7 after a marathon point. Vortex getting their hold and keeping this one close.
Yeah, so once again, maybe Mofo panicking a little. Just like I talked about at halftime, what I'm seeing is a lot of, they're not afraid to put those deeps up, but a lot of those deeps are ending up being contested with Vortex players in the area. And yeah, about half of them end up being turnovers and half of them get brought down by the really excellent Mofo receivers. But something I'd like to see is for them to maybe clean that up a little bit, and then I think they might even just run away with the game if they can do that. But of course, Vortex coming back, keeping it nice and calm. They're getting some amazing Ds. Maybe they were coached to be a little bit more poachy. It seems like they're really positioning themselves well in those lanes to take away the Mofo throws. And so it's certainly not over yet. 8-6. Maybe Vortex will bring it back just like they did against Eclipse yesterday and crush it out on Universe Point, which we heard they were very excited about. We could hear them cheering all the way from over here in the booth despite being on several fields away. And yeah, it looks like they're going to huddle up and maybe have a quick chat before this point gets going.
Yeah, talking to Carmen Lee before, she said that they have struggled a little bit with the poaches throughout this tournament. They've seen quite a few open side poaches. The Mofo team trying to make adjustments to that. I think it's something that they've struggled with a little bit throughout their season. So definitely one of the tools that they're working on to take on this defense. So maybe just taking a little bit of time to talk about that. We have seen a few errant throws from them trying to go over top of those poaches, and the wind just making that a little bit more tricky. We have seen throughout the tournament that they do really like to go over the top.
Yeah.
They have a lot of fun doing that, but the wind making it a little more difficult, forcing them to go around and really attack those poaches in a different way. So hopefully they'll be able to adjust that and deal with those Vortex defensive plays.
Yeah, wind staying nice and steady, and yeah, when it's conditions like this, I would say this is probably the windiest I've seen it so far during the tournament. You put those high release ones up, which especially players like Knockout really like to do, and sometimes the wind just takes them if you don't have the right angle on it. So we'll see. Maybe Vortex will start throwing some more zones, and maybe they can get some more turnovers with the wind conditions.
Nice floaty pull here from Vortex. That one will stay in bounds. Knockert going to get the disc, facing a huge zone from Vortex. Puts it over top. Stays with the disc. Airs that one out into space. Just a little bit too far. That one unable to be brought in, and Vortex with a chance to break. That one immediately put up. Knockert in the area. Grabs that one. Puts it over to Wong. Wong back to Knockert. Knockert looking deep. Caitlin Cho coming underneath now. Looks for stays in the end zone, but takes the under. And now a shot into the end zone. Great hold there.
I was like, yeah, that was really hot, but like pinpoint really on those like two open receivers there. Great throw by number 15, Yalowega. Getting an assist on the board.
I believe that was caught by number 12, Lindsay Marshall for Mofo. So after a quick turnover on their first possession, Mofo calming down a little bit, using their unders, and an easy shot into the end zone to bring it to 9-6.
Yeah, that was a great zone set by Vortex on that pull there. Really trapped Mofo on the sideline there and was able to get the turnover. And then, yeah, just unfortunately a miscued throw there by Vortex that resulted in another turnover, and Mofo was able to capitalize on that.
So never want to count this Vortex team out, but the clock may become their enemy a little bit here. We are an hour into this game, although we are only at 9-6. The wind definitely playing a factor.
Yeah, our on-field reporters from other fields reporting similarly low scores, probably due to the wind conditions and the back and forth play.
Mofo with the pull. Disc picked up by Tolentino. And that one's sailing over, but it's saved. Reyes with the disc. Back to Medina. Medina to Tolentino. Mofo doing a great job taking away all those undercuts. Tolentino puts that one up, but it's batted away by Mofo, immediately going the other way. High grab. Up to McFadden. McFadden looking into the end zone. Resets quite far away from her. She puts this one up, and it will be caught.
Great throw by McFadden there. McFadden being one of the youngest players, actually the youngest player on the Mofo team. But with throws like that, she's clearly showing some early experience.
Yeah, great awareness there. Not a lot of options to reset. Instead, she elects to air one up, high stall count situation into the end zone. And she had a receiver, and it's reeled in, making it 10-6 Mofo.
Yeah, that kind of a blady throw is especially tough with these wind conditions, so to just have the perfect amount of lead time and hit that receiver in that like little open hole there. Nice throw by McFadden.
Yeah, probably not the end zone that the Mofo team is looking for. That is one of their main keys that they have been working on throughout this tournament, really trying to have a disciplined end zone that's patient and gets open for the handler reset. So something they need to focus on a little bit. Both teams have been having some problems getting their handler resets open. Both these defenses doing a really good job playing match defense, putting tons of pressure, lots of speed on both sides of these teams, so making it very difficult for those handlers to get open for the resets. And we've seen lots of those high stall count bailouts throughout, and Mofo just doing a little bit better of a job bringing those in for the goals.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen a lot of those throws for resets to the break side just getting lifted by that wind that's coming cross field. So for those of you viewing at home, it's coming from the far side of the field, basically perfectly across at like an angle. And so when you try and do that dump throw to your handlers on that break side, it's going to lift a little bit. And as you've said, like we've seen Mofo do a good job of adjusting to that. And I think if Vortex can just nail that down and get some more of those break side shots, it'll really open up a lot more opportunities for them. Might be a little bit hard to see on the stream, but coach number 94 for Vortex over there actually ended up dyeing his beard purple in support of this Vortex team, since this Vortex team has a lot of purple on their really cool jerseys. So, I mean, that's just great support by a coach. Yeah. It's quite a look. Looked like the dye job maybe got a little bit messy, but you know, it's always nice to see that kind of support from your leadership staff.
Stays with the pull for Mofo. Tolentino picks up the disc. Tolentino in the middle. Puts one up to the middle. That's immediately shot deep, airing tons of people in the area. And it's knocked down by the Mofo player.
I think that was Maddie Boroditsky with the knockdown there, putting her body on the line.
Stays going deep. Vortex. Italia Paris again with the D. She's shown all day that she knows where to go when that disc goes up. Tolentino up the line. And this one, nice shot into the end zone. Time to run onto it, but just can't get her hands on it. Julia Cruz, tons of space to run onto it. And Mofo back with the disc. Stays looking, and she's gonna shoot this one deep. Has a receiver, and she reels it in. Wong with the disc near Mofo's end line. And she'll put this one up floating. There's Vortex in the end zone, and it's knocked away.
That was like Mandy Wang with the knockaway, but there was some contact on that one. It looks like there will be a foul call.
Looks like there's a foul and an injury on the play. We've seen just how much this game means to both these teams, putting their bodies on the line, not wanting to let any disc go. Fortunately, just some contact there as both those players were going for the disc.
Yeah, it's been an unfortunate day for injuries in this game.
Yeah, it seems like we luckily haven't had any serious injuries, just more people being shaken up when you take those large bids into space and land completely on your torso. It can kind of knock the wind out of you, so hopefully that's just what's going on down there.
Yeah, a little bit of an update on number 9, Mandy Lee, who got that follow-through hit in the face a little bit earlier. You can see her standing on the sidelines there after a quick visit to the medical tent and holding an ice pack on her face. So hopefully nothing too serious. She didn't have to go see the dentist right away, so that's always a good sign. And yeah, hopefully, maybe she's limping a little getting off the field, but hopefully nothing serious.
So Vortex taking an injury substitution here. Looks like Mofo will elect to do the same. So there was a foul contest. This one will be coming back to the thrower. Wong with the disc. This one will be coming in at stall 6.
You can hear number 35, Brianna Dar there. That's marking the disc, calling for sideline help from her team.
Wong puts this one up. Tons of bodies in the area again, but it's brought in by the Mofo player.
Was that Knockart that brought it in? It was kind of tough to tell. There was a couple of them in that area.
I think Knockart was in the area, but her teammate got up before her. Might have been Lindsay Marshall. Apologies to that Mofo receiver. We did not quite see your number. Great grab there in the end zone there. Tons of bodies in the area, and she goes up high and brings it in for the Mofo score, making it 11-6.
Yeah, Mofo just running away with the game a little bit here in the second half. Really doing a great job of keeping their energy up. You can see Vortex is maybe stalling a little bit on that positive team energy. I think if they can get that back, then they could get a couple quick points here, overcome that psychological barrier. Or maybe not, because we just heard the horn.
So the horn has gone here in this junior women's semifinal. Mofo will be returning to the finals again. They are defending champions in this junior women's division, getting their first win in program history last year. So they will be back to the finals later today to see if they can repeat. Tolentino picks up the disc, centers it, back to Tolentino, looking deep, fakes the big throw, motioning where she wants her cutters to go. Great look into space there.
Putting it up.
Guzman gonna put this one up. Paris in the end zone, but that one's sailing just out of her reach.
Yeah, that bladey one just coming in, it's a really, really tough to read, especially when it drops that fast from the wind pushing it down. Tough catch for Paris there that just didn't quite connect.
Mofo with an opportunity to go the whole 70 and close this game out, return to the finals in this junior women's division. Lee with the disc. Vortex getting a hand block, immediately shooting deep. That one is going to sail too far. And that has kind of been the story of the day for this Vortex team. Just a little bit rushed on some of these end zone plays, and discs just sailing out of the end zone, out of the reach of their receivers. This Mofo squad has done a good job of adjusting to the wind throughout this game, and they've really shown their size and presence in the deep space. They're not afraid to huck it or go up big to get those huge grabs, and that's really been what's made the difference for them in this game.
Yep, you can see the Mofo players striking deep right now.
Nice find into the middle there. Totley with the disc. Puts that one, oh, and a huge grab by Hildebrand. We saw her make a name for herself on the stream earlier this week with her huge defensive plays and grabs like that one. Rushes the throw a little bit, and Vortex will get this disc back.
So yeah, as you said, I think that's the difference maker here, is that Mofo isn't afraid to put those up, and all of the receivers are incredibly talented, just bringing down very, very difficult catches.
Tolentino into the middle. This one put up into space. And Mofo again there with the defensive pressure. Samantha Totley getting her hand on that disc, batting it away, and Hildebrand will come and pick up the disc. Oh, and just a little bit of a slip there from Bannister. This one again into the end zone. Hildebrand using her height and speed to get that one. She will pick up the disc and bring it to the line. Hildebrand finds Totley. Totley looking under. That one just out of the reach.
It's a couple miscues in a row there, just maybe trying to rush this last point of the game to end it.
Tolentino gesturing for the stack to come closer. Paris with a great grab into the end zone. And a wonderful grab there. Some contact from Mofo, but she brings that one in for the final score of this semifinal, bringing our score to 11-7. Mofo is going to go back to the junior women's final, and Vortex will go and play on for the bronze medal at this Canadian Ultimate Championships. Talina, how do you feel about this game?
Well, it was a very interesting game. The wind was definitely a factor in a lot of the plays we saw today. We saw a lot of turnovers as the wind lifted that disc a little bit more than players wanted to, or in the case of Hucks, just pushed it out. Mofo did a great job of putting tons of defensive pressure on Vortex. I think the defensive pressure combined with their general athleticism of their players and their really quick transition points once they got a turnover, of having their cutters strike deep and having really great handlers that could hit that, is what made the difference today and allowed Mofo to come away and make it to that finals game. So I'm looking forward to watching Mofo later. Not to take anything away from Vortex. Vortex is a great team that's been around for a long time, and we saw some amazing flashes of brilliance, some great movement when they moved that up the field several times, some great bids, some great hands, and so lots of good things from these young juniors teams here.
Yeah, definitely exciting play from both teams. It's been a pleasure bringing this game to you. We will be back later this afternoon with the Junior Open Final, and then followed by the Junior Women's Final featuring Mofo. We have not got an update about who won between Wicked West or Toro right now, but stay tuned. We will be bringing you that action later today. From everyone at Ultimate Canada, I'm Bobby Anderson, joined by Talina Huff. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you come back later this afternoon for more action from the Canadian Ultimate Championships. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.